All right, okay. We're all set. We're recording. Everyone's here. I'm here. Sounds good. Sorry about that technical difficulty, but I think we're all good now. All right, so if you're here, it's because you had heard that I was going to be talking about making the brachial plexus nerve map. All right, which when we're done is going to look pretty much like this. All right, so you need pipe cleaner is ideal. I mean, heck, if you have a whole bunch of old metal hangers, you can use those. You don't have to use different colors. As a matter of fact, if you have all one color, like the last time I taught, I actually colored in like I had two colors. And so I colored in with like purple marker over the blue and then like red marker over the green. And so they were still different colors to differentiate. But let me go ahead and I'll just take one quick second to go over the brachial plexus. All right. So what we have here, all right, we have separate portions. All right. So we have this blue portion here. All right. The roots. All right. And these are coming from your spinal nerves. All right. Your C4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and T1. We're just going to be concentrating. We're not going to worry about for the purposes of class. I don't think on your notes. I mentioned C4 in there, but we're only going to be doing up to, on this is only going to have C5 through T1. Okay. You can add an extra one in there if you'd like. It would just, you know, you'll if you want to do it, you can figure it out after I go in and stretch. So these roots are coming from the spinal nerves, and what's going to happen is C5 and C6 and C4, and then C8 and T1 are going to combine into two trunks, and then C1 is going to maintain itself as a trunk. All right, and then they're going to come through, and these trunks are each going to divide into two parts. They're going to have a posterior division and an anterior division. You can see that down here. Can you guys see my mouse? I'm assuming you can see the mouse that I'm using. So as those are going to split, then those are going to recombine from three trunks. Then each trunk is going to divide into two and then recombine into three different cords. Okay, and these three different cords are where your main branches then of the brachial plexus are going to come off. Okay, all right, and the main branches that I want you to know are here: the axillary, musculocutaneous, radial, median, and ulnar. All right, so as you're beginning, all right, your model, what you're going to want to do is you're going to take two colors, and you're going to want to take them and combine them like this. So go a little bit more than halfway and twist them all together, except then at the two very ends here. Okay, and you're going to do that with two of them. Okay, and then with these other ends, okay, you're going to take your opposite color. So you're going to need two if you're doing different colors. Okay, you're going to need two of each color. And then so with the first one of each color, you're going to leave it whole, but the other one you're going to cut it in half. And we're going to take these halves now. All right. So what we have here is we have this is going to be our C5 and C6. All right, roots. And then right here is we have our trunk, the upper trunk, okay? And then right here is going to be where that divides into two. Now, when these divide, you still have a little bit of, you've got C5 in here, and you've got C6 still in here, but as you can see, it's color-coded. So what you're going to do is you'll take your half one of, in this case, the yellow, and you'll just twist it together with your green. Okay, so I'm gonna do this neatly. Okay, as neatly as possible. All right. Perfect, got that right there. Okay, awesome. And then I'm gonna take now my green, do this. And if you're maybe following along, you know, that would be pretty awesome too. But, you know, this is recording. So, you know, you should all be able to see this later. All right. So now we have our anterior and posterior divisions of your upper trunk. Okay. Now, when you're trying to remember these trunks, upper, middle, lower, all right, versus like your lateral, medial, posterior, okay, your upper, middle, and lower, think of it as well, your C5 and C6 is higher up in your spine. So it's upper, and then your C8 and T1 is lower down in your spine. So it's going to be your lower trunk, okay? And then all of them have an anterior and posterior division, okay? So right here, there we go, have this set. And you may wonder, again, like, well, why am I having you do these models? Why can't you just learn it? And the thing is, it's really to help you. This way you've got a visual like that you've built yourself, okay, that you can actually work with, okay? So, sorry, I just got to do all the twisting. I wanted to do this with you. I've got my pre-made version again here, but and that was actually kind of a practice one. Like I realized I was like, oh, I need to do this a little bit differently, just to make sure everything comes off without a hitch, I guess, or whatever. Okay. All right. Perfect. So then with this orange one that you have a half of, okay, you're going to go ahead and twist this so you've got an anterior and posterior division of it as well. Okay. All right. So then what you're going to do is you're going to take these halves, okay, and you're going to come over here. All right, and this is our C5 and our C6. Now, if we look over here, we can see that your C7, okay, or which becomes your middle trunk, it gives off an anterior branch off to the trunk, or what's left of the trunk of your C5, C6. So you're gonna go in here, and then all you're gonna do is you're gonna twist these two together. So you'll do this only with both. So essentially, you're going to take both of these pieces and you're going to be twisting them together. Okay. So you finish twisting these together like this. All right. Then I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to do it with this other side here. I know this is probably kind of boring, but promise you'll maybe love me for it later. I don't know. Okay, so there we go. We've got that. All right. Sorry, I should probably hold that so you can see it. All right, there we go. Okay. All right. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take this other one, and we're going to take one of the two branches from this, and we're going to put it into this middle piece here. So remember, you have your, okay, if this is your middle, all right, and it gave off a branch, over here, all right, and actually I should show this to you like this, all right, so that is close. So you have this anterior division, all right, or let me make sure I got this, sorry, posterior division, so I should hold it like this. So this posterior division coming off of the upper trunk, so it's going behind, it's posterior to the anterior, okay, division that's coming off this one. So this means this is kind of this is going to become your posterior cord, okay? So you want to keep track of that, all right? Like, see, like I was getting them mixed up. So your C5, C6, okay, if you're going to do this right, it needs to actually be going behind. All right. And so then you're going to take over here, all right, your C8T1, all right, and you're going to take the posterior, all right, part of that division and put it on with the posterior cord. And you're going to wind these two together. All right. Okay. So you should have something that looks like that. All right. So essentially this split, each one of these split once, and they had one part where all three, where a split from all three came together, all right, to form one thick here. And then over here, you've got another part where the branch from the middle trunk came and attached here to the upper trunk. All right. So now is where we need to do a little bit more in here. So with you should, when you cut your second pipe cleaner in half, you should have been left with 1/2. Well, then what you want to do is you want to cut it into, okay, half again, so you have a 1/4 piece. All right, and you see I've made a little mini twist here, a little mini twist here of my C8, T1, C5, C6, and then with the other set, I've made another one of, right, C5, C6, C8, T1, okay, and then this one by itself. Well, what you're going to do right here, you have your posterior cord, and your posterior cord, the main portion of it is going to become your radial nerve, okay, radial nerve. So, but it does give off a branch, and that branch is the axillary nerve. So what you'll do is you'll take the 3 portions right here of one of the quarters, and you'll actually then, what you'll do is you'll just twist all of these together, all the colors in the rainbow. Okay, so we've got one nice cord there with all of our colors. And then all we're going to do is we're going to take and we're just going to kind of attach it here to the posterior cord. Okay, so let me go ahead and do that. And you can get that to fit on there however you like. It's just important that it stay. All right. So there we go. Now we actually have, we have now our radial nerve and our axillary nerve coming off of the posterior, okay, posterior cord. All right. Now, if you look here, you can see that off of the 2 cords, the lateral and the medial cords, they both give off branches, a second set of branches. So they both divide again. So here, and they combine to form the median nerve, right? And a good way to remember which one, well, you have here your musculocutaneous, right? And then you've got over here, you've got your ulnar. And then here you've got your median, right? Okay. So the way to remember this is the median, all right, is in the middle of your ulnar and musculocutaneous nerves. So when those lateral and medial cords come down and they split off, they're going to go, 2 branches are going to come into the middle, and then they're going to form the median nerve. All right. And the median nerve is the one that goes through your carpal tunnel and can get cut off there in carpal tunnel. All right, and that's what those symptoms come from. All right. Okay. So now we have these other pieces here. What you're going to do is you're going to make your branch off of the C7, or sorry, C8T1. So you'll attach it to this one that's hanging off. So let me go ahead and attach that here. All right. And then now remember, off here to the side with this lateral cord, it actually has connected you have all in here, you have your C7, C8, and T1. So I'm going to take my C8, T1, and my C7, and I'm going to twist those together. All right. And then I'm going to attach those here to the lateral cord. All right. All right. And make sure I've got this here how I want it to set up for your last move. Okay. Now, the most important part of this is making sure that when we connect these two branches here, that they are in front of, okay, our posterior cord. All right. And the way you're going to know that is because it needs to be coming off the same side that your anterior division of your middle trunk is in front of the posterior division back here of your upper trunk. So those are going to connect here on the same side. And then we're just going to wrap those together. Okay. And now, there you have it. All right. A nice little brachial plexus for you to be able to look at, handle, move around, right? Look at all the different angles, okay, of how this is working together. All right. And honestly, like if this were me, I would probably go and like trim off a little bit of this top so I have it nice and succinct, kind of like really compact, because those just like everything here is kind of nice and compact and well done. And up here, you just got these big tail ends. So if you want, you can cut those off. I'll probably do it later just for my own, I don't know, just anal that way. All right, so that's how you make your brachial plexus. Any questions?
On the project that we had, the serial processing and the parallel processing.
Yes. Okay, perfect. Thank you for reminding me. Like I mentioned, you should. Let's see. Reflexes. Processing. Okay. All right, let's see. Oh, come on, go the right way. All right. All right. So, serial processing. Let's see, a good example here. All right. So serial processing is, I don't think there's a very good example right here. I might draw this out. Let me see if I can find something to draw real quick. So it's a come on. Stop share. Where is it? My software. Okay. No. Okay. Touch. Okay. So your serial processing is where you've got, yes, okay, you've got here one signal, all right, and it could be one signal and it initiates up here, all right, and then you come down and it can either just go kind of straight to its end organ. So here you have your signal, just S, sorry, I'm writing with like my finger on my computer screen and it's kind of sticking. And here you have your organ, all right, OR for organ, because that's all my finger will let me write right now. Okay, so, and it'll come either straight through to the organ, and then possibly you might have branches that will go off, okay, all right, using my mouse now, all right, and go to this other organ over here, right, okay, or, and then you might have another that initiates like this, and it'll come down, and it'll go to a separate organ, all right. So we have organ right here, organ 3, okay, organ 1, and our organ 2. Okay, 3 separate organs here that are being initiated. And it can be one signal going to multiple, right? Or it can be 2 signals going to 2 different ones, all right? However, oh, come on. You know what? Can I just add a new page? Insert blank page. Aha! I'm smarter than my computer. Okay, parallel processing would be when you have, okay, one signal, and what happens is it'll branch off, okay, maybe go to another set of nerves, all right, and then they'll come and send a message to one single organ, all right. So that's your parallel processing. It's essentially you've got one origination and then one end organ, all right. Whereas with serial, you might have one or multiple origins, but, or yeah, where it's originating from, sorry, origins and organs. I don't want to use those 2 words to get it confused. So, and they'll go to 2 separate organs. That's serial processing. So essentially you can say parallel processing, you'll have multiple signals going to one organ, and serial process, you'll have one or multiple signals going to multiple organs, different organs, okay? All right, does that make sense? And that's just the serial and parallel. As far as converging and diverging, all right, that one is right here, okay? This part, you have diverging signals. In here, you have converging signals, all right? You have multiple signals are converging on one organ or one spot, and here you have one signal diverging to 2 different places, all right? And then I think the other thing that's on the PowerPoint, okay, all right, see here, you got converging cert, many inputs, one output, okay, diverging, right, one input, many outputs, okay, and so these would this especially would be like a serial circuit here, whereas here and here you have parallel, all right. So this one is going to be it's converging or diverging here, and then it comes in and reconverges on a single input, all right. So there are lots of different purposes. It talks about essentially controlling rhythms and whatnot there for activity, the different purposes of these signals. And then, yes, I don't think I ever talked about summation. Let's see. Yeah. All right. Does that answer your question? Yes. I'll imagine silence.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. And let me just scroll through here. Oh yeah, there were a couple things. I'm just gonna go ahead and as a little bonus for those of you that showed up, I guess. I mean, people will be able to watch this, but I'll just cover it now. Go ahead and leave. If you all leave me alone, it'll keep recording. So whatever, I'll just talk to myself. Actually, something I do want to bring up in this meeting, and I guess there are only 3 of you here, so but hopefully more people watch this. When you're doing the videos and you have your topics, they're based on the section. So one thing I actually had meant to mention in the last video I did was if you look over here, I give you an outline on the side so you can.
We can't see what screen you're looking at.
You can't see the
We
screen.
still see we see your Word document still. Well, I do, anyways.
No, you are correct. I need to hear that. Stop share. And thank you. All right, here we go. You see the PowerPoint? Okay, off to the side, you've got here, this is like an outline. And can you see it now? Yes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so you see this outline and it kind of goes through, right? And so now, and I did this so that you could kind of get a good overview of like, all right, where am I at in my learning? Like, oh, so in nerves, I'm learning in this chapter about nerves and muscles. We're talking about nerves right now. I've learned about basic concepts. I'm trying to break it down for you and keeping this here as a constant reminder of like where you're at. So you can break this information down, kind of organize it in your head because I've organized it on the slide, okay? And you'll see, oh, okay, next I'm gonna be talking about cranial nerves, all right? So you'll see I have basic concepts right here. That's one topic. So if you have your topic is unit 3, okay, or sorry, unit 2, section 3, your basic concepts, all right? That it's not any of these slides, okay? You're going to be covering any information from, okay, here, basic concepts, first page, all right? And I even have, look, I put page numbers. Now these are for the 5th edition, the 6th edition. Sometimes it's off by a page or 2. I have seen, I think one time I found an illustration that was like 10 pages away or like in a different chapter, like once. That was in a different edition, but usually editions are just getting students or teachers to buy new textbooks, it seems to me. So from here on slide, what we have slide 5, all right? And it goes all the way to slide 26. So that's where you're responsible for finding your videos is stuff that covers that information. All right, I had someone that had I can't remember who it was that had they were in the central nervous system and they did a great video about the central nervous system, but it was more about basic concepts because essentially this is an anatomy and physiology course. If you'll notice, the basic concepts cover the physiology. Anything outside of that covers generally the anatomy. Sometimes I go into the function of specific parts, okay? All right? But for the most part, it's anatomy. So you'll want to be finding videos on anatomy for these sections, okay? So anatomy of the brain, you know, anatomy of the, or, you know, so one video would be anatomy on the brain. Look, like I even broke it down further. Okay, I want brain anatomy. Great, a video on brain anatomy. I want a video on spinal cord anatomy. Awesome. And then I need something on the cranial nerves. All right. And like those are 3 videos, and I think if there's maybe 2 people, then you say, well, the brain has a lot more information than the spinal cord and the cranial nerves. So one of us is going to take the brain and find 2 videos for that, and the other one is going to find 2 videos for that if you have people contacting you. If you don't, again, I made this system so that, great, if I'm forcing you to work in groups by saying like, hey, look, the first person to post a video they're going to say what slides their information covers, and then the next person can't cover those slides with their video unless there's like information missing from that video that it covers, or there's only slight overlap. I mean, I'm going to allow some overlap. I'm not going to be anal like, oh my gosh, 2 videos covered the oculomotor nerve and they overlapped in that one single element. You fail. No, not at all. I'm a reasonable guy, I feel like. So let me know if I'm not being reasonable, and I'll see if you're being unreasonable or I'm being unreasonable. All right. Otherwise, I think that covers about it. So any other questions before we go? And as far as specific questions about the information, I'll be going over that at our next Zoom meeting, and I'll be essentially going from start to finish, going through the slides. But if you do have any specific questions, I'd definitely be willing to, maybe about assignments. If you are one of the 2 or 3 people that already turned in your projects, you're welcome to fix your, if your thing didn't look as beautiful as mine did, you can redo it anytime before the due date. So feel free to do that and then resubmit. All right. Cool. No questions. All right. Let's pin my pretty face there, I guess. All right. Okay. Well, I guess if it looks like there are no questions, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording and let you guys get on your way, get to bed, because I know it's like 10:30 your time for most of you, probably. Maybe later, maybe earlier.